Hi, my name's Allison Nara. I'm a bass clarinetist, and in recent years I've started dipping my toes into the realms of songwriting and music composition. But most importantly, I'm aspiring to become a music educator, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. You know, if you told me about 5 years ago that I was going to end up trying to become a music teacher, I probably would have called you insane. You know, I wasn't really that engaged in music at all. See that chair over there with the blahage on top of it? That's about where I used to sit. It was last chair, third clarinet. You know, no shade to any third clarinets that like their spot there, but I really did not. It's not that I wanted to be seated any higher, though, really. I mean, I was banished to the back of my section, drowned out by a sea of people that were better than me, that practiced more than me, that cared more than me. All I really wanted to do was leave. So there were a few things that I think ended up changing my mind and making me do a complete 180. In my sophomore year of high school, I joined the marching band, and it was awesome. I started having fun. I made a cohesive group of friends. We hung out, we had a great time, and I started to see that there was fun that could be had in making music that I just didn't see before. And another thing that changed my mind about a lot of things was that same year, I swapped from soprano clarinet to bass clarinet, and I was finally moving at my own pace. I was doing my own thing, and it was fantastic. That was the last straw. I loved music now. It's like I was finally able to be myself in a giant band. And it was a fantastic feeling.
So I've been taking MUED classes for about a year now, and I've quickly come to the conclusion that it's the right career path for me. So I came into college as an engineer, thinking I could do music stuff on the side. And I quickly came to the conclusion that I really didn't think that was the right choice. Because I was seeing all my classmates rushing to try and get top spots at labs right off the bat. And meanwhile, I was trying to land a teaching gig at Guitar Center. And I thought that was something that I could do. Thought that it was something I wanted to do. And, you know, looking back, I really was stupid for trying to start down any other path.
Less than 10%. That's how rarely middle and high school students take part in their music programs. That's a super low number, and it just keeps falling. Turns out there's a bunch of complex factors that play into it, but it looks like a lot of it has to do with the fact that we base our curriculums all around large ensembles. And through what I experienced, large ensembles aren't exactly outdated, but there's way more to music out there nowadays. Like, there's plenty of orchestras out in the world, true, but there's way more to music than that. This could also be a part of why schools in well-off areas tend to have worse funding for their music programs. I mean, all we really teach is orchestras and choirs, which, sure, they get audiences, but usually they're not exactly the ones selling out stadiums. So a lot of people in less well-off conditions don't really see it as something worth pursuing. I mean, if you're in a bad neighborhood, parents are really just going to focus on getting you out of that. So they're not going to focus on arts like music because it's not really going to make their kid rich. All they really want to do is get them nicer places to live. And so that leads to less kids in music programs, less parents supporting them at school boards, more social stigma around being a band kid, and a whole storm of issues. A lot of kids also aren't joining their music programs because we aren't exactly motivating them well. A lot of the ways we try to motivate kids in music classes are extrinsic, such as like praise, rewards, good grades, exposure to classmates. But everyone that cares most about music really just does it because they find it fun. Their motivations are intrinsic. Something led them to really just deeply want to keep going. And they're not exactly getting something out of it. Making it a career usually comes second after just doing what they love. Not to mention, there's also a ton of othering that goes on in our music programs. Like, we overemphasize a ton of things. Like, large ensembles are basically the norm in our musical community right now. Plus, we only ever play stuff like Western classical music, written by a bunch of old dead white guys. And anything else than that is put into this category of world music, which isn't explicitly thought of as worse, but it's not like held on the same pedestal, which can be very shameful to kids from different ethnic backgrounds. Plus, it also doesn't help that we make kids either wear like very masculine concert attire or very feminine concert attire, which can be really stressful to some kids that may be gender nonconforming or not out to their parents yet. So we music educators definitely have a lot of changes to make. A lot of them are probably going to take years of trial and error to figure out. There are no answers, but there are a lot of ideas out there, and they're all worthy of trying. So here's what I want to try and bring to the table in my music classroom. So I want to build a curriculum that's more open to interpretation through each student's eyes. I want it to break away from the strict, regimented structure that we currently have,
where you're expected to learn and master one single instrument.
Even if it's not the best fit for you, and just strive for perfection. I don't want to see kids practicing and improving just because they want to be better than the person sitting next to them. I want everyone to truly enjoy the music that they make. That means offering plenty of novel experiences like after-school events, extracurriculars, small group ensembles, writing competitions, and more.
Music is an art form, and I want to allow students to explore their own creativity with it.
I want to offer a few lessons to introduce everyone to all the tools they need to create their own music. Basic theory concepts, recording technologies, some basic skills on more common popular instruments, mixing and mastering, so on and so forth.
A lot of these were skills I had to teach myself.
I want to try and keep a balance between breadth and depth so that everyone does their best, but also has different paths they can follow in case they want to try something else. Moving away from a focus on Western classical, I want to allow some exploration with some less familiar genres across other cultures, as well as our own. Hopefully, through these experiences, kids can find what they enjoy most about music, and I can help them pursue it.
I found my niche, and I'm still having fun with it.
And I want to see everyone else having fun too.